Last time I said this was the Majora's Mask of the Mario universe. I said that mostly because the half of the developers for Super Mario Bros. That didn't go to Lost Levels kinda went to this game. There's more to it than that, but that's the simplified version. However, also like Majora's Mask, this is also considered to be a really weird Mario game. You throw vegetables, Shy Guys instead of Goombas, and Wart instead of Bowser. A lot of people will tell you this is because the game didn't start out as a Mario game. And they aren't wrong, but they're kind of wrong. See, the game did start out as a Mario Bros. Prototype. It was focused heavily on vertical platforming, similar to Donkey Kong, rather than horizontal. But it was thought the Famicom couldn't actually handle said game. Later on, they eventually struck a deal with a Japanese television station and turned said prototype into Doki Doki Panic. The game uses Japanese cartoon characters that aren't really known here in the States. When it was time for a sequel to Mario Bros. To come to the States, they rebranded the game back into a Mario game as it originally was intended, keeping the original Nintendo-owned assets. They changed up the game to be slightly more Mario, and bam! That's what we're here to review today. I won't focus too heavily on the original Doki Doki Panic, nor will I be talking a lot about the original NES version of the game as well. They aren't bad by any means. The NES is way more accessible and the easiest version to gain, and Doki Doki Panic, the original version, is a bit harder to come by. You have to specifically pirate it or be collecting older Famicom games imported from Japan. But honestly, both versions are slightly outdated. I'm going to mostly be playing the All-Stars version, which is also slightly outdated too. I'll probably get yelled at for this, but personally I think the Game Boy Advance version of the game, Super Mario Bros. Advance, is the best version of said game. It's pretty close though, but with that out of the way, let's get started. I've been playing this game for a long time and I have plenty to say, so let's do it. Let's take on Wart! Oh man, that sounds like I'm trying to do some medical thing. Gosh, can we call him something else someday, please? Alright, let's do it. Let's take on Wart, I guess. So, the story is that Mario is brought into a new world with his friends. He's there to save some fairy-like people from Wart, more or less a frog version of Bowser, hence the name. Mario faces off against Wart's deadly forces and wins the day. Turns out it was all a dream of his. Oops! Guess he was using too many, mushrooms and it caught up with him. But that's about it. There really isn't much in the way of plot here, honestly, but it is nice to have Mario go through something other than saving a princess again. Actually, Peach is playable this time around, so clearly Mario, since he's dreaming, thinks Peach isn't just a damsel in distress. I guess that's a cool takeaway from this. Now, the game looks actually pretty good. This was a time when they were figuring out how to use the Famicom and the NES better to improve the visuals. Naturally, in the All-Stars remake, they look even better. Whales, the bird head door things to finish a level, even the different veggies you get depending on the level. This game also sounds great. I love the music tracks on this game. The only real issue here is the advanced version. Yeah, I still say it's the better version, but if music and visuals are important to you, then maybe All-Stars might be a better version for you. See, the advanced version uses sprites from All-Stars, but has more washed out color palette due to limitations on the Game Boy Advance. Likewise, the music isn't as crisp either. Personally, it works fine for the console. It isn't like the music and graphics look like garbage and sound like garbage. They just look and sound better on the Super Nintendo, that's all. The advanced version isn't lowering the bar by any means. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, there really isn't much in the way of power-ups this time around. While I didn't bring them up, even Lost Levels has power-ups. It was mostly the returning Fire Flower and Mushroom combo, with poison mushrooms that acted like enemies. This game has mushrooms you can find for sure, but they give you extra health. You have a bit of health bar this time around, and hearts can actually heal you up this time. See, this game is unlike many other Mario games. You automatically can take 2 hits. To defend yourself, you need to have to pick up and throw objects. You can jump on enemies' heads for sure, but other than riding them like a platform, it doesn't really do much. You can always pick up said enemies and throw them like a weapon, I suppose. Other than that, it is basic platforming. There is a way they diversified the game outside of power-ups, however. That's right, multiple playable characters to play as. Mario plays roughly how you'd expect him to play at this point. Luigi has his higher jump and shit traction from lost levels. Toad is fast, but jumps like absolute shit. And Princess Peach, in her first playable debut, has the best jump, literally able to levitate, but her speed is garbage. Basically, Princess Peach is great for the platforming sections, and Toad is absolutely great for the boss fights. And Mario and Luigi just kind of do their own thing, able to handle both rather well, I guess you could say. With this and special items like power blocks that you can throw to nuke the screen, and cherries eventually giving you a star that makes you invincible, much like the original Mario Brothers games, you are basically ready for anything that this game has to spit out at you. And by anything, I'm talking anything. Look, these levels are weird. It's a dream, remember that. Also beware, because some of the levels are rather difficult too. Some of them have you landing on like small fish moving up and down, jumping over logs, riding enemies. There's some tight platforming at times. Also an unusual amount of digging in the game. I'd play as Toad through these levels or they'll take forever. Some of the levels are slightly more confusing than need to be as well. Boss fights are somewhat repetitive due to Mauser showing up like 3 times. Also, Clawglip sucks as a boss, and is possibly the most challenging boss here. Hate landing on those rocks that he's trying to throw. Mauser shows up even more in the original Doki Doki Panic. And the Game Boy Advance version has Robo Birdo? Yeah, brand new boss fight to lower the amount of repetitive bosses. Oh, that's cool actually. Robo Birdo is a fun boss fight too. Props. But Birdo shows up as a sub-boss a lot. She isn't terrible to fight. Sometimes she helps you out, and she has 3 different forms. Pink only shoots eggs, red shoots eggs and fireballs, and green only shoots fire, meaning you'll have to find something else to throw at her. Honestly, I like how they handled Birdo in this game. She isn't always super original, but parts of the challenge is facing off in a weird platforming area with her. And since she has different forms, this makes things very interesting. However, most of the levels are actually pretty good. Clever platforming challenges and different enemies to keep you on your toes. Sure, there's some stupid enemy placements here and there, but overall, it's actually pretty good. And even with the tight platforming, I'd probably complain a lot more if we didn't have Princess Peach to more or less fly over everything. But even in the more tight areas, they don't happen all that often. Overall, not bad here. Flawed, but still good. So, as previously mentioned, you can find mushrooms in levels to extend your health for the rest of the level. How is this done? This is going to be a good one. You find a vegetable that's sticking up, you pull it out, and it turns out to be a magic potion. Cool! You throw the magic potion against the ground, and a doorway forms. Yeah, I know, that makes no sense. This is a dream world created by too many magic mushrooms, what do you expect? Anyway, these doors lead to a Shadow World type version of where you go from in the door. Basically, if you put the door on a specific platform, you end up in a reversed shadowy area of that platform. It's the same basic area, so to speak. If you leave the door in the right location, you can pull up coins as well as finding one of these mushrooms. The coins, which looks like vegetables, give you a chance for extra lives with a casino game at the end of each level. This is all luck-based, which can make your game a lot easier or a lot harder, depending on how lucky you are at getting lives. There's also secret warp pipes in these doors too. Find a vase. Yes, a vase, not a pipe. Or vase, I guess you could say. And go through the vase in the Shadow World, and if you found the right vase, you warp to a future level. Last but not least, in the advanced version, it has a bunch of hidden Yoshi eggs to find, as well as A coins, advanced coins, so to speak. They don't really do anything, they're just extra junk to find for the heck of it. Fun, but no point. Also, there's more hidden lives and hearts in advanced version, just saying. It's slightly easier to play as characters who aren't really super good at, since it's slightly easier. Nothing too awfully different, though. I will still claim that the advanced version is the better version, but it isn't so much better that it is a must-have, especially with how hard it is to actually find the advanced version. If you can get the All-Stars version, go with that. If not, the NES Classic is just fine. Either way, you will roughly enjoy the game about the same. Overall, the game is great. It has a few issues with not enough rewarding secrets, and the levels have their issues for sure. However, the story is short but fun. The gameplay is fun once you get to, used to throwing things, and the music and graphics are pretty good, especially in the SNES version. And the levels can be really fun, and the secrets are kind of fun to collect anyway. It's fun, if not weird, entry into the Mario series. It isn't the best 2D Mario game by any means, but it works pretty well. It is an 8 out of 10 for me. What about you, Mario?
Vegetables are an important part of a balanced meal. And they're great for dream warfare. I made the funny.
Right. Anyway, you heard it here, folks. That's all the HUD time I have for today. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and look through my channel for more opinions on Mario reviews. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.